everyone. Are you ready for some race action? We are here at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg in Austria, ready for the BMW M2 Cup and these young talents. It's going to be super exciting. Only four more races this season. It's going to be super tight, super exciting. But before we talk with we do the interviews with the drivers, we're going to have a look back at the last race in Spa. So check it out.
It's the BMW M2 Cup. The preparations are underway, which includes sport. Here we go then, the lights are out. Oh, race 8 in the BMW M2 Cup. After the incident of P1 and P2, it's now Barbie and Crime leading the race. And our final podium of the weekend at Spa. We look forward to seeing you at the Red Bull Ring.
So much action in the BMW M2 Cup, and obviously people are keen on driving here in this superb cup. And one of the guest starters is Senna van Zeulen. And Senna, I mean, it's fantastic having you here as a guest driver. So what are you expecting in the race?
I hope I can go to the top 3, top 5. I hope that will be good for me.
Now, it's obvious that these people are pretty eager to do really well, and you're in start position P7, so it's always tough being in the middle of the field. How tough do you think will it be, especially because here also a topic is track limits in Spielberg?
Yeah, it will be a tough race because, you said track limits and good drivers. Yeah, we will see.
We will see, and we're excited. So thank you so much. And now we're going to head towards somebody else, because we've also got ladies here in the BMW M2 Cup. And we've got Alessia Kreuzpointner. She's still talking, but let us just quickly butt in. And of course, eager to find out, because she's starting in P8. Hey, Alessia, how are you doing?
I'm very good.
Cool. And starting from P8, what are you going to make out of it?
I try my best. The aim is to go to top 5. I have very good pace, so I will really push. And
everybody's keen on the BMW M2 Cup. We've got quite a few guest drivers, and obviously always when you're in the middle of the field, it's pretty tricky, and this racetrack is tricky with the track limits, and especially it's so challenging. So what are you going to look at the most? What's the most challenging here?
to stay on track and do not have too many track limits, to get no penalty for that, and consistency, pace, and then everything will come from itself.
But all in all, what do you think of Spielberg? Do you like the racetrack?
I really love it. It's one of the beautiful tracks, so I'm very looking forward to the race.
All right, I totally agree. It's such a beautiful race. Thank you so much. Best of luck for the race. And we're going to go to the next one, who's actually the sister, who's Jacqueline Kreuzpointner. And she's here. The door is about to be closed, but we're still going to quickly get one interview because Jacqueline also obviously going to be very excited. Hello there. So you ready for the race?
Yes, of course I am.
But it's going to be tough, huh? I mean, being in the middle, it's always tough, and especially with with track limits.
Yeah, it's really difficult with the track limits here on the Red Bull Ring, but it's such a beautiful track, and if you stay safe and take care of the track limits, I think you will be a little bit more in the front.
All right, well, best of luck. Thank you so much. And let's see if we can still grab someone else. Colin Böninghausen, he's actually also a guest starter. And we've got quite a few guest starters also tonight who are going to try out, because we're looking for new talents in the new season. So that's going to be exciting. And let's find out what Colin thinks, because obviously it's always exciting being a guest starter here. Hey there, I just mentioned your guest starter in the BMW M2 Cup. So how excited are you?
It's my first race in the series, so I'm very excited, but I'm looking forward to it.
It's all young talents, but I mean, obviously you've probably been watching it a lot, so I mean, everyone here is on fire, right? So what are you going to do?
Yeah, we are all friends, I think. we are all battling very hard, so we will see what we can do.
All right, well, best of luck. Thank you so much. And let's see if we've got one more, Fernando Feller in P15. It's going to be a tough race for him, that's for sure. He's also a guest starter, hoping to maybe be taking part in this fantastic series next year. So, hello there. Are you ready to push hard? Because, I mean, obviously in this starting position, it's going to be so tough for you.
Yeah, honestly, I'm really happy to be here because it's my first time in a race car. I have a lot of fun, and yeah, let's hope I can gain some positions. Yeah.
And what do you think of the BMW M2 Cup? It's a fantastic chance for everyone,
Yes,
right?
Yes, I have a lot of fun driving the car. It's great, and also the community. Everyone is so nice and kind. So yeah, I'm happy to be a part of it.
You said everyone's kind, but obviously when you're in the race, on the racetrack, nobody's kind, right? It's going to be tough.
Yeah, for me, of course, it's more fun than business. I do it to have fun, not to for a career or anything. But yeah, I have a lot of fun and I just enjoy it. And yeah, nice to be here.
All right, well, you do that. Enjoy it, have a fantastic race. And that's it from us down here. So let's get racing. Here's the BMW M2 Cup and here's your commentator. Have fun.
Thank you so much. Great to hear from all those drivers down there on the grid then ahead of this race. Fantastic race to come, and as you heard, every driver really loving the Red Bull Ring. And here this 4.318 kilometer circuit is challenging for all the drivers, and as you've heard them say, you know, they have to take care with regards to track limits, because that can be a real issue here, particularly going through the likes of turn 3 and then the roller coaster section, which starts from turn 4. Incidentally, as we look at Colin Berninghausen, then one of our guest drivers, and well done to Verena for getting all the guests on the grid. Incidentally, the elevation change, because I mentioned the roller coaster, from where we are now looking at Michael Makesh, the elevation change from here to the top of the track between turns 3 and 4 is some 63.5 meters. Big uphill climb into turn number 1, the Niki Lauda turn, which you can see from our camera angle there, looking up towards that turn number 1. So big grid of cars then, and delighted to welcome our guest drivers and, of course, those that are campaigning for the championship. And in qualifying, Fabian Kreim was able to add another 3 points to his tally in the lead of the championship against Maxime Osten, who goes from P2, incidentally. So it's going to be very interesting to watch as we look at Aaron Venish, who goes from P16 on the grid. Well done to Aaron Venish, really improving as each and every race takes place. And here we are then reaching the sharp end of our BMW M2 Cup for this year. After the Red Bull Ring, just one series of races, one pair of races to come, and that of course is at the Hockenheim. We get the 30-second board then. We will of course bring you the grid in full as the cars are released on their formation lap, and tell you who is going from where as we look at the number 12 car of Aaron Venish from a different angle. Lots of spectators here to enjoy the racing. There's Bart Horston. Now, Bart had a tricky time in Spa. Did very well to take a P4 in race 1 and then regrettably didn't finish race 2. So he'll be hoping to right the wrongs of Spa-Francorchamps this weekend as the cars get the green flag and the green lights and head off then for their formation lap. Here we go. It is the BMW M2 Cup with 2 formation laps to come. The race duration has been reduced to 27 minutes plus 1 lap as a consequence of having 2 formation laps. And that big climb now up into turn number 1, the Niki Lauda turn. And then it's a big blast of throttle along the first straight. And here is the way it looks in terms of the championship, with Fabian Kreim on 139 points, exactly 10 ahead of Maxime Osten. And they go from P1 and P2 on the grid. Then it's Robert Heffler, Lawrence Stegman, Mark David Muller, Bart Horston, Michael Makesh, Tom Nittel, Jarno Dow and Diego Stifter. They are in the top 10 places in the Drivers' Championship at the moment. There is also a Rookie Championship which runs alongside the main championship. Cars reach turn number 3 now, where you continue climbing through the right-hander. And then the roller coaster is about to unfold in front of the drivers as you head down to the Rauch turn, which is turn number 4, and then it is all downhill and a very technical part of the circuit through turns 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then into Jochen Rindt, which is the second but last corner being turn number 10. So cars weaving from side to side, trying to generate some temperature into the tyres as promised. Here comes the grid in full. Fabian Krijn goes from pole position. He bested Maxime Oosten, P2. Laurens Stegman and Tom Nitella on the second row of the grid. Then it's Jarno Douw and Bart Horsten. Senna van Solen, good qualifying P7 and a good qualifying too from Alessia Kreutzpointner P8. Robert Heffler goes from P9 and Jacqueline Kreutzpointner from P10. Then it's Sean Fuster, Mark David Muller, Colin Bernighausen, Mikael Makesh, Fernando Feller, brother of course of Ricardo Feller, DTM race winner, and Aaron Venish. That's the grid in full for you. So the cars on their formation lap, each and every car is absolutely identical, and the drivers draw lots when it comes to the race weekend, so they never drive the same car. The cars are rotated through the driver pack as well to ensure absolute parity and to make sure that no one driver can seemingly find an advantage with one particular car because the cars are changed each and every race event. The drivers, as I said, draw lots, and then it is only then that they find out which car that they will be driving across the course of any race weekend. Everything is absolutely fair, it's fraught, and it's fast. It is the BMW M2 Cup here at the Red Bull Ring. So the cars starting their second formation lap then, as we look at the number 24 car of Senna van Salen then. Very young driver, very good young kart driver is Senna, and did a very good job in qualifying. Put the car P7, is hoping for a top 5 position, maybe even a podium, who knows. Of course, our guest driver's not scoring championship points, but of course wanting to finish as far up the order as they possibly can in the race. So this is where the roller coaster part of the circuit really starts as you head down towards turn number 4. And all the drivers weaving from side to side, including Mark David Muller there in the dark grey car, ahead of the number 55 car, another one of our guest starters, that's Colin Bernighausen. And big welcome to Colin then, who's raced in the Porsche Sprint Challenge and now finds himself in the BMW M2 Cup for this guest drive this weekend. And as I mentioned, Fernando Feller is the other guest driver, brother of Ricardo Feller. So Fernando we managed to catch up with on the grid thanks to the hard work of Verena. And as he said, he's here for fun. And of course doesn't want to upset anyone with regards to the championship. So going to be a drag race into turn number 1 between Fabian Krijn and Maxime Oosten. Keep your eyes on the likes of Tom Nitella and Jarno Douw, and also Bart Horsten, who'll be pushing hard from the second and third rows of the grid as they head into that Niki Lauda turn number 1. The right-hander, as you continue to climb, and there's some big weaving going on from Tom Nitella in the number 7 car. This is Fabian Krijn then, points leader, and Fabian, well, he maxed out what he could at Spa, taking a P3 podium place in the first race and then taking a win in the second race, which elevates him back to the top of the Drivers' Championship at the moment. And he added to his points tally in his very good performance in qualifying as well. His arch nemesis in the Drivers' Championship is Maxime Oosten to the left of our picture in car number 54. So it's a real great battle between those two in terms of who is going to take the championship this year. We await the green flag from the marshal at the back of the pack as the BMW M2 Cup then stands by for race 1 of 2 this weekend. And 16 cars lined up on the grid. The green flag comes, the lights. When they extinguish and all the lights are out, it is a race on. Let's go racing. BMW M2 Cup. Good start from Fabian Krijn. He'll try and dive to the inside now. Maxime Oosten not quite able to close the door on Fabian Krijn going into turn number 1. Laurens Stegman running in P3. The rest of the cars, if we can all get through turn number 1 without too much strife, that will be brilliant news. Credit to all the drivers, indeed we do that, but look at Maxime Oosten welded to the back of Fabian Krijn. He's going to have a go through the kink, which is turn number 2, heading uphill now to turn 3, where you continue to climb uphill. Now Maxime Oosten trying to get to the inside of Fabian Krijn, and I think he's done it. They are absolutely side by side. This could be really good news for Maxime Oosten. who is able to relegate Fabian Crime potentially into P2. There is nothing between the two of them. Big battle going on for P4 as well. You can see a lock-up from Fabian Crime. That plays into the hands of Lawrence Stegman just for a moment. So Maxime Osten, he sussed that absolutely perfectly through turn number 2. That's where he made the overtake start. Here comes Fabian Crime coming back on Lawrence Stegman now. But Maxime Osten is leading the race from, take your pick, Lawrence Stegman or Fabian Crime. Well, Fabian Crime is able to close the door on Lawrence Stegman, so he goes back into that P2 position. Tom Natel is running in P4. Then it's Alessia Kreutzpointner up to P5, ahead of Bart Horsten and Senna van Solen. So great racing in the opening lap here. And what can Fabian Crime find now to take this to Maxime Osten? Seemingly, once Maxime gets his nose in front, you can see what he's trying to do here. Build a comfort margin between himself and Fabian Crime. And his gap is around about 0.6, so just over half a second. Fabian Crime carrying more speed into turn number 1. You can see the front of the car. Whoa, big sideways moment there for Tom Natel. Just manages to hold on to that. And Tom Natel is under some pressure here. So Alessia Kreutzpointner going to the outside of Tom Natel now as they go side by side, and it goes 3 abreast into turn number 3, almost. So Osten continuing to lead as Mikael Makesh puts himself ahead of Sean Fuster to occupy that P12 place. Here's Lawrence Stegman then, who is desperately trying to come back once again at Fabian Crime. Now, around turn number 4, which is where we're heading now, it's a long way around the outside, and sure enough, Fabian Crime is able to go through on the inside and hold on to that P2 place. But it is under threat, there's no question about that. And Tom Natel getting past Alessia Kreutzpointner for P4 earlier on. And you can see also looking lively there is Mark David Muller as he chases down the number 14, all black car of Jarno Dow. Jarno Dow, another one of the talented young drivers in this wonderful BMW M2 Cup. The race being led by Maxime Osten from Fabian Crime, who is the Drivers' Championship leader. Going into this race, Maxime Osten picking his overtake point absolutely perfectly. Started the move going through turn number 3, concluded it through turn number 4. Great overtake done. So all the cars so close together. Brilliant racing. And now here comes Fabian Crime having a go at Maxime Osten. Now Fabian Crime has got the inside line here. So Fabian Crime should be able to carry the momentum through the Niki Lauda turn. Sure enough, he does. And then he tries to really close the door. Maxime Osten is on the grass as they go side by side again. And Lawrence Stegman is trying to buy into this battle as well. So it is absolutely all changing on almost every single centimetre of tarmac here. Wonderful stuff. And Maxime Osten says, take that. And Lawrence Stegman, well, the more these two fight, Lawrence Stegman on the grass now. Big save. He manages to hold on to the car. And Fabian Crime and Maxime Osten genuinely could not be closer. Absolutely awesome racing in the early stages of this race. Oh, big sideways moment there for Tom Natel, and a good move from Senna van Solen going through on Bart Horsten. He set that up perfectly, so that moves him up to that P6 position. Meantime, for the moment, and I say for the moment with due deference to how hard these two drivers are fighting, it is Maxime Osten that is leading the way. But we've already seen Fabian Crime come through once again, and sure enough, he's going to try and do it all over again. What a race so far. Let's take a pause, take a breath. Let's have a look at the start replay then. And it was a good start from Fabian Crime. He was able to close the door immediately on Maxime Osten by getting good traction away from the start. And it was critical to have the inside line going into turn number 1, and that's precisely what he did. There you could see at the replay of the start there, running very wide was the number 15 car of Alessia Kreutzpointner, but you carry so much speed through turn number 1, you can hold on to it. This is the decisive moment. Maxime Osten, off the back of turn number 3, had got the inside line, and therefore Fabian Crime was always a passenger at that point. And you can see in his desperation, he locks the front end of the car up here, Just that little puff of smoke from the tyres, back end sliding a little bit. Lawrence Stegman almost able to take advantage. Here it is again with Fabian Crime now coming back at Maxime Osten. And this is into turn number 1, so on maybe the 3rd lap or so. So big thanks to our team for giving us those pictures. And as you can see, the top 3 have broken away from the likes of Tom Nittel and Alexia Kreuzpointner and Senna van Serlen, and are racing very, very hard here. Nothing to take between all 3 of them at the moment. Brilliant fighting between Fabian Crime and Maxime Osten. Maxime Osten, for the moment, has got that P1 position, but there is literally nothing more than 2/10 between P1, P2 and P3. Then it's Tom Nittel and Alexia Kreuzpointner with a fantastic drive, and Senna van Serlen running in P5 and P6 respectively. So heading towards the final turn now as you roll downhill, and Tom Nittel just under a little bit of pressure there from Alexia Kreuzpointner, and Senna van Serlen, who is one of our guest drivers, driving that all-green BMW M2 Cup car. Maxime Osten trying to protect the line going into turn number 1, and he does that. Now, can Fabian Crime have a go as they head up towards turn number 3? Now, this is turn number 2 that you can see. It's not really a turn, it's just a kink in the road, but it's taken absolutely full chat flat. Fabian Crime trying to get to the inside, and he's done it. Racing Room is left by Maxime Osten, and a big battle going on with Tom Nittel and Alexia Kreuzpointner behind. The big beneficiary here could be Senna van Serlen. And Senna van Serlen puts himself to the inside, so now Fabian Crime has gone through on Maxime Osten, and that happened through turn number 3. You could see Fabian Crime was putting himself to the inside, and for the moment, Lawrence Stegman not able to take advantage. This battle that is going on between Alexia Kreuzpointner and Senna van Serlen continues. Now, black and white flag is going to be issued to Fabian Crime, and that is for forcing another car off the track. It happened earlier on, you may remember, on that run between turns 3 and 4, Fabian Crime was kind of forcing Maxime Osten onto the grass. So black and white flag is issued as a warning only. No penalty at the moment, but it does mean that the race director's eyes are on Fabian Crime, and he can ill afford to make another error, or a penalty could be issued. So now Fabian Crime leading from Maxime Osten, from Lawrence Stegman is the top 3. And in fairness, wherever we look, there are lots of battles going on. It's really difficult. And here comes Lawrence Stegman then, trying to do Maxime Osten, showing his face to the inside line. Fabian Crime getting a little bit sideways. Lawrence Stegman has got really good pace, but he has not been able to find a way past Maxime Osten or Fabian Crime yet. 2 overtakes for the same money there we could see going on. And now Fabian Crime making sure he protects that inside line to prevent Maxime Osten, but Maxime Osten gets a very good exit out of turn 3. And is this going to be a repeat of his earlier overtake on Fabian Crime? I think it is. Here comes Maxime Osten on the inside of Fabian Crime. Lawrence Stegman trying to get in there as well. So this is where Maxime Osten has really been able to make it count. It is on the exit of turn number 3. Just able to get good momentum out of the uphill, because you continue to climb uphill through turn number 3, and Maxime Osten goes back into the lead of the race. The lead has changed several times in this BMW M2 Cup race, and this wonderful fight between Maxime Osten and Fabian Crime and Lawrence Stegman. So Stegman, of course, just provoking and motivating the 2 ahead of him to continue fighting the way they are, in the hope that he will be able to pick up any pieces that should fall awry as a result of their big fight going on. So where are we? We've got about 17 minutes of the race remaining, plus 1 lap to come. And Fernando Feller is being warned to respect the track limits. He's been running wide several times, and he's currently placed in P16. So the top 3 then line astern into turn number 1. It's Maxime Osten heading Fabian Crime. What will Fabian Crime try to do now on the run up towards turn number 3 and turn number 2? to try and unseat Maxime Osten again. I bet he'll try and get to the inside line here. Maxime Osten presumably will be wise to it, though, and will try and close the door. Fairness, I don't think Fabian had quite got the momentum he needed. Those three, honestly, painted together. And brilliant racing between all three of them. And the great thing about it is, apart from when Maxime had to take to the grass, it's been a really clean and fair fight between the top three. Really enjoyable to watch. Now, Senna van Serlen is doing an absolutely brilliant job as a guest driver because he's put himself ahead of Tom Nittel. Tom Nittel is coming back at him now. So in the all-green number 24 car is our guest driver, Senna van Serlen. It's Tom Nittel running right behind him, so that's P4 and P5 at the moment. And then the battle continuing between Alexia Kreuzpointner and Bart Horsten for P6 and P7. So as I said, you know, from a trying to keep an eye on all the battles point of view, it's blooming difficult, honestly, because there is so much going on everywhere. And Senna then, really impressive stuff. All of these young talents then that are racing in the BMW M2 Cup, desperate to make a name for themselves in the early stages of their motorsport career. Another driver being warned about track limits is Mark David Muller, who is running down there in P12. For the moment, the top three remain unaltered, with Maxime Osten ahead of Fabian Crime and Lawrence Stegman. Then P4, 5, 6 and 7. As now, here is Fabian Crime. He's going to be king of the late breakers going into turn number 3. A dive to the inside, and now he has got that inside line. There's nothing Maxime Osten can do to defend against it. And Fabian Crime goes through. Wow, what a race. So many overtakes for the lead of this race. And Fabian Crime is leading Maxime Osten, now ahead of Lawrence Stegman. And here is Senna van Serlen. And again, just being denied there is Lawrence Stegman. So Senna van Serlen, who has got the number 7 car of Tom Nittel right behind. And then the rest of the order. Let me give you the top 10, just to give you an idea of what's going on. It's Fabian Crime from Maxime Osten, Lawrence Stegman, Senna van Serlen, Tom Nittel, Alexia Kreuzpointner, Bart Horsten, Jarno Dahl, Jacqueline Kreuzpointner, and Robert Heffler. They occupy the top 10 positions. What Fabian Crime now needs to do is to try and build something of a gap between himself and Maxime Osten. But on all the laps preceding this one, whoever has been in the lead has not been able to break away from those drivers that are contesting P2 at the moment. And those drivers, for now, are Maxime Osten and Lawrence Stegman. I say for now because you certainly cannot bet on that staying that way. So, start-finish straight once again. Across the timing line, Maxime Osten not as close to Fabian Crime. However, this is where he will start to build the momentum as Tom Nittel taking a look at Senna van Serlen here in the fight for P4. So as the leading cars run up towards turn number 3, in my opinion, that's where Maxime Osten was going to really have a look at Fabian Crime. Now it's here where Maxime he's not as close this time. Not as close, because in the previous 2 overtakes he's done on Fabian Crime, this is where it's come on the run down. But I think he's really having to defend here from Lawrence Stegman, and that's the reason he's not able to attack Fabian Crime ahead of him. Fantastic race between all the drivers, and what a showing from our guest starter then, Senna van Serlen. Brilliant job being done here. So all the cars then through into turn number 4, and they're going through on the number 12 car of Aaron Venish. Here's Mark David Muller. Here's P1, P2, P3, and then the rest of the pack. And look at this fight that is going on. That's a good bold move by Bart Horsten on Alexia Kreuzpointner. Bart Horsten putting himself to the inside. Alexia Kreuzpointner is fighting back. And this is the fight that is going on for P6 with Jarno Dahl in there as well in the all-black car, number 14. So, do they go almost 3 abreast? And they are 3 abreast now. And, well, you could see the stick in his elbows out there was Jarno Dahl. Brilliant racing. and great action all the way through the pack of cars. So Jarno Dow putting himself ahead of Alexia Kreutzpointer with a bold and ambitious move, but it's one that paid off. Absolutely wonderful. Now, critical to the top three is the fact that Lawrence Stegman is being warned about track limits now. I can see all this information because I have a direct feed from the race control into our screens here in our commentary studio. And Lawrence Stegman, who's currently running P3, and of course has been trying for lap after lap after lap to unseat and unsettle Maxime Oosten and Fabian Krym ahead, he is being warned about track limits. And what that basically means is that he's been taking liberties somewhere to try and have just an additional bit of momentum and has exceeded the track limit. So he's been warned, and it is only a warning at this stage. So Jarno Dow and Bart Horsten side by side. And Jarno Dow's gone through here. Another great overtake. Jarno Dow putting himself up into P6. This is our race leader, Fabian Krym. P2 is Maxime Oosten. Now, I believe, and I don't have all the records of every lap here, but I reckon this is the most settled it's been since the start of this race in terms of P1, P2 and P3. So has Fabian Krym done enough now to continue all the way to the checkered flag, which is 10 minutes and a lap away? And here you can see big fighting going on with Mark-David Muller and Aaron Venish. Aaron Venish driving the number 12 car, and the blue car, number 22, is driven by Mark-David Muller. Mark-David Muller taking a look at the inside there, and he took a pair of P5 finishes at Spa-Francorchamps just a couple of weeks ago. Of course, hugely different circuit to the one that we're enjoying here at the Red Bull Ring. And now just taking a look at the inside, but Aaron Venish very much aware of that and was able to close the door as they go through the Niki Lauda turn. He remains ahead, but going up into turn number 3, it could be altogether different. Now, Maxime Oosten has shaken off the attentions of Lawrence Stegman and is able to reassess and realign his priorities to attacking Fabian Krym ahead of him. Now, I wonder whether Maxime Oosten is being very clever here and just thinking to himself, do you know what, I'm going to do this towards the end of the race when there is no race time for Fabian Krym to come back at me, potentially. It's possible. It's possible. Of course, we cannot read a driver's mind, but sometimes using your head can pay off. So whether he'll just keep the pressure on Fabian Krym and then go for the overtake towards the end of the race when Fabian Krym will run out of time to be able to come back at Maxime Oosten. Let's see. But they have both broken away a little bit from Lawrence Stegman by about 7/10 now, which is the biggest gap that they have had over the P3 driver for the moment. Big sideways moment there. You could see the Robert Heffler car number 53 sliding. Well, there you could see Maxime Oosten is really beginning to hurry Fabian Krym once again. So can Maxime Oosten, is he close enough to dive to the inside now? Well, Fabian Krym protects that inside line. Maxime Oosten now just shows his face, but coming out of the slight slipstream, they get off the back of the cars. He wasn't able to make a move going through turn number 1. However, turn number 3 is going to be altogether different, I suggest, and I predict. So where's Fabian Krym going to place the car on the approach to turn number 3 to prevent Maxime Oosten diving to the inside? Well, Oosten prefers to sell Fabian Krym something of a dummy, and he's not quite as close as he has been on previous laps to be able to put it to the inside of Fabian Krym on the run down to turn number 4. So I built that up really rather nicely, and then nothing happened. Sorry about that, but it's the way it goes sometimes. Now, black and white flag is being given to car number 70, which is Fernando Feller for non-respect of the track limits, as we could see Mark-David Muller eventually finding his way past Aaron Venish. So Mark-David Muller pushes himself up into P12, and now the chase will be on to the talented Sean Fuster, who is running in P11. Just under 7 minutes plus a lap remaining of this BMW M2 Cup race. Was there just a little bit of dust I saw there? Someone run wide and run off. Aaron Venish is trying to come back here at Mark-David Muller, and he's got the inside line here as Maxime Oosten once again shows the inside and shows his face to the inside of Fabian Krym and goes through. So Maxime Oosten now ahead of Fabian Krym. These two have delivered an awesome race as they cross the timing line now. It's all changed once again. He's Maxime Oosten, he's leading, and Fabian Crime is P2. You certainly wouldn't want to bet as to who is going to be on the top step of the podium come the end of the race. And now Tom Nattel trying to go all the way around the outside of the guest driver, Senna van Serlen. So Senna van Serlen's going to have the inside line now on the run up to, oh my goodness me, Jarno Dow is muscling his way to the inside as well. Is he going to make two overtakes in one hit here? He jolly well is. Jarno Dow then. Brilliant stuff. Absolutely awesome, bold racing, but he was fully committed to that and made it happen. So now Jarno Dow is in P4. You can see that the number 7 car of Tom Nattel is trying to come back here, but it's a long way around the outside here at turn number 4. Jarno Dow gets so sideways. He will have lost momentum. That may have played into the hands of Tom Nattel. But it was a big save from Jarno Dow, and they're kind of queuing up behind now as well. This is the fight that's going on for P4, 5, 6, 7. You can see as tyre degradation is beginning to play its part. The cars are beginning to be just a bit sideways. Bart Horsten there, who is ahead of Alessia Kreutzpointner, but Bart Horsten is chasing down now Senna van Serlen for P6. Wow. Running out of adjectives to use to describe this. One of the best BMW M2 Cup races that I have seen. And they've all been good, which shows you just how good this particular race is. This was Maxime Oosten then, showing his face to the inside. Now, it almost looked like Maxime thought, no, I'm not going to do it. And then he had a second thought and goes through. However, he has got to be aware of the track limits. And you can see, to be fair, all three of them running outside the track limits there. And this in replay, Jarno Dow was just superb. Just putting his nose, and that was the big save from Jarno Dow. And now here comes Lawrence Stegman on Fabian Crime. This would be disaster for Fabian as Lawrence Stegman goes through to pick up P2. And here comes Fabian Crime trying to get underneath the Lawrence Stegman car once again and retake that P2 place. They are absolutely side by side. Lawrence Stegman is able to hold on to it for the moment. And this is just all nicely playing into the hands of Maxime Oosten, who is able to escape up the road. So Maxime Oosten has gapped now Lawrence Stegman by just over a second. With 3 minutes plus a lap still to run, this could be masterclass from Maxime Oosten in terms of strategic timing. Because Fabian Crime, clearly, to have any hope of getting on terms with Maxime Oosten, has now got to try and find a way past Lawrence Stegman. That ain't going to be easy. So in replay, I think this is the run into turn number 4. Lawrence Stegman just putting himself on the inside of Fabian Crime, and that was enough. Job done. Brilliant stuff. There you can see Fabian Crime trying to come back, but once Lawrence Stegman has got the inside line, it was all going to be really rather futile. Meantime, here is Tom Nattel. Jarno Dow must have a problem, I would suggest, because he seemed to lose speed there. So both Tom Nattel and Senna van Serlen have almost cruised past Jarno Dow. Whether he just missed a gear change or something. Here comes Bart Horsten on the back of him now. So Jarno Dow has now dropped back down to P6. He seems to have recovered a bit of pace now. You can see Alessia Kreutzpointner desperately flashing her lights at Bart Horsten ahead for that P7 position to try and unsettle him. Thus far, Bart Horsten has not been unsettled, but valiant effort by Alessia Kreutzpointner to try and make him lose concentration just for a moment. Wow, what a BMW M2 Cup race with just a minute and a half plus a lap to come before we see the likes of the checkered flag. And for the moment, Maxime Oosten has got that P1 position ahead of Lawrence Stegman. But I tell you what, Stegman is reeling Maxime Oosten in like Maxime Osten, is on the end of his fishing line, because the gap is just down to 3/10 now. In fact, it's 3/10 between P1, P2 and P3. They're something like 10 seconds up the road from everyone else, but such is their pace and fraught fight been during the entire course of this race. We can see Jarno Douw to the left-hand side of the screen coming into the pit lane. So clearly Jarno Douw did have a problem. That's a great shame, because Jarno Douw has delivered some great race entertainment for us during the course of this BMW M2 Cup race. We're live from the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Well, I should think that you've held on to the arms of your seats in terms of watching this race, because it has been non-stop hot rock from the lights going green. At the moment, the race leader is Maxime Osten, ahead of Lawrence Stegman and Fabian Krym. We've got the remainder of this lap plus one more to come in this BMW M2 Cup race, and Fabian Krym then really beginning to pressure Lawrence Stegman now. Maxime Osten trying desperately to build up a comfort gap between himself and the pair that are fighting right behind him, so that he can secure the win, which would be great news for Maxime Osten, and indeed would be his 5th win of the season. Of course, the points championship, the fight is very much between Maxime Osten and Fabian Krym. Fabian Krym has taken 3 wins thus far, one of those coming last time out at Spa-Francorchamps. And here they are then, Maxime Osten, Lawrence Stegman and Fabian Krym then, heading down towards the final turn now to start what, in my opinion, will be the final lap of this BMW M2 Cup race as they head towards the timing line now. Lawrence Stegman, you could see how he was protecting the inside line from Fabian Krym. He dived right to almost skirting the concrete of the inner pit wall as Maxime Osten continues to lead. Maxime Osten from Lawrence Stegman from Fabian Krym. Yes, indeed, it is the last lap. That's confirmed on the graphics to the left-hand side of your screen. They're ahead of Tom Nittel and Senna Van Serlen, ahead of Bart Horsten, Alessia Kreuzpointner, Robert Heffler, Jacqueline Kreuzpointner, and Sean Fuster with a top 10 finish. As now, Fabian Krym just taking a look at the inside of Lawrence Stegman. Was there a little love tap there between the two of them, as car number 70 gets a drive-through penalty for non-respect of track limits. So that proves the point that you get warning and warning and warning. Normally 3 warnings for track limits excursions. And when it comes to your 4th warning, you get a penalty. And for Fernando Fella, he gets a drive-through penalty. Now, that won't be taken. He'll be picking up a time penalty instead, because the drivers have 3 laps within which to take any drive-through penalty. Well, of course, clearly there are not 3 laps left in the race, so it will be a time penalty that he will pick up. So is Maxime Osten then heading to what will be his 5th win of the season, ahead of Lawrence Stegman and Fabian Krym? I have to say, I think so, because any opportunity Fabian Krym and Lawrence Stegman really have had to get on terms now with Maxime Osten in the final stages of this race have gone away. I think it was a brilliant strategic drive from Maxime Osten as he heads towards the checkered flag, which is waved furiously. Maxime Osten takes the win from Lawrence Stegman and Fabian Krym, P2 and P3. Tom Nittel takes P4. What a fantastic race. All drivers deserving so much credit for that awesome race. Absolutely brilliant stuff. As I say, we've had some excellent races in the BMW M2 Cup, but in my opinion, that has got to be one of the best of them. Genuinely, I am so glad that I'm a voice and not a TV director, because I would not know which way to point the cameras, because there was so much going on in that race. So a brilliant job done to our TV crew, who caught just about all the action, which came thick and fast. Applause from the marshals around the track to the drivers for a superb and very, very entertaining display of brilliant racing from, bearing in mind, these are all young, talented racers. And I love the flag show that the marshals put on, and of course all the marshals volunteers, and without them we wouldn't be able to enjoy this wonderful sport. So we say a big thank you to you for your efforts. We wouldn't be racing without you. Maxime Osten, Lawrence Stegman, Fabian Krym, Tom Nittel Then it was Senna van Serlen taking P5 ahead of Bart Horsten, Alessia Kreutzpointner, Robert Heffler, Jacqueline Kreutzpointner. So great results for the Kreutzpointner sisters. Sean Fuster with a top 10 finish, richly deserved. Then it's Mark David Muller, Aaron Venish, Mikael Makesh, Colin Berninghausen. Then it'll be Fernando Feller and Jarno Dow, of course, having to retire the car, which was something of a shame. Brilliant race indeed. So the drivers on their slowing down lap now will be heading towards the pit lane. Then, of course, the podium ceremony to come, which we will enjoy. And it'll be really interesting. I'm sure Verena will be getting hold of the top 3 for us because they deserve so much credit for delivering a wonderful, wonderful race. So there are the top 3. Heading back. And a young superstar fan who may well be one of the young talents in the BMW M2 Cup in years to come. Here they are then. Look at those wonderful trophies. I have to say, I've been coming to the Red Bull Ring for many, many years. And they always do a fantastic job in terms of the trophies and the presentations. Now, I'm hoping the camaraderie between the top 3 as they get out of the cars is going to be loud and proud because it was a fantastic race for us to enjoy. Maxime Osten is congratulated by Colin Carasani, who's down there. Colin Carasani, of course, former BMW M2 Cup pilot, now racing in the DTM Trophy. And that's really nice to see. The camaraderie between all the drivers. Now, of course, they're huge competitors out there on track, but I cannot begin to tell you, and I get to spend a lot of time with these drivers, that the atmosphere and friendship in the paddock is really, really awesome. Now, of course, when the drivers get out on track, all that friendship is forgotten about, and everyone wants to be a winner. There is Fabian Prime. Hans Bernd Kamps to the right-hand side of your picture there, who is head of the BMW M2 Cup, along with Jörg Michaelis, doing a very, very good job. In fact, the whole organisational team of the BMW M2 Cup do a very good job indeed. You can just see Christine Curling there, who's head of PR and media, also hard worker. Let's go down to Verena now, who hopefully will get the top 3 for us.
Well, I've got all 3 here, that's for sure. What a crazy race. I mean, let's start with you, Maxime. There was such a tough battle between you and Fabian, and then Lawrence in the middle. I mean, you really made it so exciting, but in the end, you overtook and you got your win.
Yeah, we had a really good fight. It was super fair, so I really enjoyed it. But I had 0 seconds to breath, so it was a really difficult race, but really happy to be here.
Fabian, obviously for you, I mean, you were trying so hard. You did not only have Maxime behind you, but also Lawrence breathing down your neck and all the overtaking. In the end, Maxime won. I mean, how tough was it for you?
Definitely one of the toughest races in my life. Definitely, it was a nice fight. I think it was also a fair fight. At the end, I struggled a little bit with my rear tires, and lost a little bit more gap to Lawrence, and but at the end it was a nice race, and for sure very important points for the championship.
Absolutely. You're still leading by 5 points ahead of Maxime, but Lawrence, look at you. I mean, you were just right in there, and in the end you managed to secure a 2nd place. So how excited are you? How was it for you?
Really nice to be here, and in the beginning I let them go and try to let they race their own race, and then I had the opportunity to pass Fabian, and I was really stoked about it, and yes, really nice race.
Well, thank you to the 3 of you for giving us so much excitement there. And you're going to get your trophies now, and now here's your commentator.
Great work there from Verena, getting hold of everyone for us, the top 3. And I'm really, really pleased that they all said exactly the same, that they were just thrilled with the race that they had. It was perfectly fair. It was jolly hard work, but it was a great fight between all of them. So well done to each and every one of the drivers, doing a very good job indeed. There, the checkered flag falling then for Maxime Osten. As Verena has said, it is Fabian Krym that's still leading the Drivers' Championship, being chased all the way, and nothing is over yet, that's for sure. So delight from the hard-working technical team, of course, that all play a part in terms of this. So many people that make motorsport happen. Of course, the drivers have to pedal the cars, but there's much more to it than that. So there's Fabian Krym then, who takes P3.
Der zweite Platz, ebenfalls aus Deutschland, Lorenz Stegmann.
P2 for Lorenz Stegmann. Great drive from Lorenz, really impressive.
Und der Sieger des ersten BMW M2 Cup Rennens an diesem Wochenende aus den Niederlanden. Wir gratulieren Maxim Osten.
And there is Maxim Osten then. Onto the top step of the podium. National anthem time to play out. And the anthem fades away, and it's time for the trophy presentations to come.
Technischen Department des BMW M2 Cups.
So P3, Leander Gopez making the trophy presentation to Fabian Krym for P3. Leander Gopez then from the technical team and the BMW M2 Cup making the trophy presentation to P2. Now for P2, Lorenz Stegmann, it's going to be Karen Henkefend. And Karen Henkefend, who is sister, of course, to Lewis Henkefend, making the trophy presentation to Lorenz Stegmann. And then making the trophy presentation to Maxim Osten, our race winner from BMW. Delighted to welcome Roy Sakatshi here. So there is Roy, and he represents BMW and makes the trophy presentation to Maxim Osten. So trophies then awarded to our top three. And of course there is a further podium which takes place inside the paddock, which is for the rookie drivers. So there's Maxim Osten, Lorenz Stegmann P2 and Fabian Krym P3. And wonderful celebrations on the podium. A wonderful race from the BMW M2 Cup. Top three drivers then, and taking P3 then, car number 43. Still the Drivers' Championship leader, Fabian Krym. Equaling his best result of the season so far, Lorenz Stegmann. He took P2, as indeed he did in race 1 at Spa-Francorchamps. But taking the win, and a decisive win, and an important win, his 5th of the season, Maxim Osten. So, Drivers' Championship points, Fabian Krym now, as you can see, it's getting so much closer. As the points have been calculated now, there's just 1 point between Fabian Krym and Maxim Osten in the top two. My goodness me. I'm looking forward to race 2 tomorrow already. From all of us here, thank you so much for watching. Join us for race 2 tomorrow. Bye-bye.